Today, I'm going to break down the compositional masterpiece that is Strobe by Deadmau5. This song is one of the most beautiful arrangements in the history of electronic music, and it is by far one of the best songs to study if you struggle with arranging songs or you are learning how to arrange music. So here's how I break this song down. This song starts off at 88 beats per minute, but it has 2 tempos in the whole track. And the song starts off playing a massive 16-bar melody. Most modern music uses 4 or 8-bar melodies. Sound I'm going to use to make this melody sounds like this. That is the classic Deadmau5 pluck, as we used to call it. This haunting 16-bar melody plays quarter notes that trigger on every upbeat. But there's another part to it. There's a harmony that triggers quarter notes on every downbeat, and it plays simultaneously with this melody to make it come to life. And together we just get this haunting melody. Isn't that haunting? Now here's what's so pretty about the song. We have this haunting melody that's really long, right? But he plays this melody 4 times, and each time gets an additional layer of instruments to add expression to it. Let me show you what I mean. The first loop of the melody plays by itself. Right, we just listened to it. The second loop of the melody brings in a new instrument, these synth pads. And the synth pads play these bass notes that were used in the harmony. Only the notes are sustained. Now these pads introduce another note. We have the bass notes plus a fifth, but this fifth is up an octave. And the way they work themselves into the song is slowly. So we go to the second loop of the melody. Isn't that tense? Isn't that haunting? I remember when I first heard that sound, I was like, what is that sound? I never heard a sound like this in my life. Once they work their way in, they play out for the remainder of the melody. But let's go to loop number 3 of the melody. We get another instrument to add expression, and that is a piano. This song is great to learn on piano. The piano plays the exact same melody notes, but it plays its own bass notes as well. And then the song goes from like an electronic song to a symphony. Ready? Here's the piano. Isn't that beautiful? And then this brings us to the last loop of this melody before the song changes up, and we get a string melody. But these strings play their own melody. They don't copy or layer any of the melodies. Now we have this beautiful symphony. Don't you feel like you're in a movie? Isn't that haunting? So I think there's a huge lesson here. To keep your melody interesting, you don't even have to change it sometimes. Sometimes what it takes is just adding instruments which add expression every time the melody loops. Now, shorter length melodies, you might not have to do this with, but the idea is the same. Adding expression with layered instruments is a great way to keep a song interesting. So this part of the song ends here, and then the song completely changes up. This slow moving melody morphs into this fast moving 8-bar long dance melody. So we're going to load up the Deadmau5 pluck again. And this melody is 3 lines. The first line is a bass line that triggers 8th notes. Then the next line is the main melody line. Isn't that nostalgic? And then there's a third line. I love this line. It just sits on this note that is like barely comfortable. See how it's like almost not perfect? Like you get that tension? Love this melody so much. Now this dance melody doesn't just come in right after this cinematic melody. In between these two melodies, a breakdown happens. And this breakdown is one of the greatest breakdowns in the history of electronic music. Like, he displays such a deep level of music intellect here. Let me show you what I mean. It's crazy. When this cinematic melody finishes, he takes just a couple notes of the melody. He takes 2 notes from the melody and he creates this little tension building kind of bridge here. But it doesn't just happen like that. It's at this time that the song goes from 88 beats per minute all the way up to 128 beats per minute. And it does it gradually. Hear it getting faster? Now it's turning into a dance track. I wish more songs did that. So I think this whole sequence happens 2 times. And then it happens 2 more times, but something different happens over here. So remember, we're trying to get to this melody. So what he does is he takes these second 2 repetitive melodies and starts hinting at this melody. Watch, it's kind of cool. On these second 2 loops, we get these little hits of dopamine down here that start hinting at the main melody. Isn't that kind of sick? And just like that, this repetitive pulsing melody morphs into one of the most beautiful, haunting melodies of all time. Then for the second half of this melody, he brings in this counter. I remember when I first heard that, I was like, what is going on? Like, music didn't sound like this before 2011, or at least it didn't like on the radio. But yeah, then the kick comes in here, and this entire sequence repeats all over again. So yeah, that is one of the greatest arrangements in electronic dance music of all time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. That's a video for you. If you would like to learn more about arranging your own electronic songs, I have a course at the top of the description below that helps you do that. My course for a limited time comes with lifetime access to my inner circle. That's where you can send me your songs for feedback and ask me any question that you would like. If that sounds like something that interests you, like I said, there's a link at the top of the description below, and I will see you in there. Stay tuned for the next video.